This week on Hands on Photography, we're going to do something just a little bit different while we do this shelter-in-place photography project.
Hands on Photography is brought to you from LastPass Studios. Keeping passwords on notes or spreadsheets doesn't work anymore. LastPass easily keeps track and creates unique passwords for every site you use. Visit lastpass.com/twit.
This is TWiT.
This episode of Hands on Photography is brought to you by Casper. Experience the comfort of Casper with their Memorial Day sale. Get 10% off almost everything at casper.com/twit1 and use code TWIT1 at checkout.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Pruitt, and this is Hands on Photography here on TWiT TV. Hope y'all are doing well. I'm unbelievable as always. This is the weekly podcast where I like to sit down and share with you different tips and tricks that are going to help make you a much better photographer and a much better post-processor. If this is your first time hopping in and joining us today, thank you for coming by and welcome. But also go ahead and hit the subscribe options that are out there for you. If you want to go and take a look at the website, you can go to twit.tv/hop and you'll see all of the subscription options there, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or even our YouTube channel. Or if you're just sort of searching around on your favorite podcatcher of choice, you can find us there just by searching for Hands on Photography and hit the subscribe option there. And if your app allows you to do so, leave me a rating, leave me a comment. Let me know how things are going with us here at TWiT TV and Hands on Photography. Thank you very much for the continued support. Again, this podcast, I do it every week, every Thursday, that is, not every weekend. I do this every Thursday just to share some of my tips and tricks that I've learned over the years to help me get to the place where I can go out and shoot and get paid to do this and get different opportunities just based on doing photography and content creation and video. So I wanted to share that knowledge with you because I believe in sharing. And if I can do this, you can do this too. Okay. So now let's go ahead and get into this week's topic. At the time of recording this, we're still dealing with shelter-in-place orders here in Northern California and the Petaluma area. And with the shelter-in-place orders, that tends to mess with people's creativity a little bit. Especially with photographers, because you can't necessarily go out and do photo shoots, if you will. With that said, I decided to challenge myself with a bit of a self-imposed self-portrait challenge, if you will. And I started doing this several weeks ago, well, not several weeks ago, several days ago. And I wanted to try to iterate on that particular challenge with this episode and show you something that I just submitted over on my Instagram. And basically, it is just a way of me cloning myself into a self-portrait and just sort of setting up the scene. So I think this is something that pretty much anybody can do because all you need is your smartphone, a free app, and a tripod, or maybe even something that's just going to hold your camera in place if you don't have a tripod. But I can suggest a couple different tripods. So I'll put links in the show notes. I know in particular, I'm using a Movo tripod and a smartphone holder to help me out in this situation. But again, that doesn't cost much of anything. You already got a smartphone, and the app that you're going to use to help put all of this together is going to be free. So again, anybody can do this. No excuses, folks. All right, so let me walk you through the process, if you will. So I'm thinking, all right, I want to do a self-portrait, but I want the portrait to be the act of me getting ready for a portrait, me sitting in a scene and waiting on the camera to snap the shot. But I thought it might be interesting and give a little bit of a story if there was someone else in the scene with me, particularly myself. And in that scene, I would be there trying to adjust the light or something like that. Because, when you go to a photo studio, there's going to be lights and flashes and things like that. So why not just have the other version of me in the scene looking like I'm trying to adjust the light? And then I decided that while that person is doing the adjustment, I would sort of look exasperated or frustrated or whatever, because, I'm not the most patient guy when it comes to this stuff, right? Just kidding. But yeah, I figured that'd just be a fun way to put this together. And this is something that you can do too. So let me walk you through getting everything set up. I'm gonna head on over here to the other camera to show you how I started out with this idea.
This episode of Hands On Photography is brought to you by Casper. With award-winning mattresses, Casper is transforming the way we sleep. They have a 100-night risk-free sleep on it trial and offer free contactless delivery and free returns. Experience the comfort of Casper with their Memorial Day sale. Get 10% off almost everything at casper.com/twit1 and use code TWIT1 at checkout. That's casper.com/twit1, code TWIT1. Terms and conditions apply. Offer excludes the Element mattress and sales items. See casper.com/terms for additional terms and conditions.
So now, this is just a typical light stand, and I attached a speed light to the top here with a, in a Bowens mount, because that's pretty common to do. You can take just a regular speed light, take it off of your mirrorless or DSLR, and mount it to a speed light and use it as an off-camera flash, because that's pretty common. So I figured I'm going to put this here in the scene, and then I will frame myself up as if I'm just sort of working on it, or just something. Okay, so that's one thing. The next part is we're actually taking two photographs. So one photograph is me handling this here light, and the other photograph is going to be me over there in the frame, exasperated or whatever. So we're going to have two photographs that we're going to blend together using that mobile app on our phones. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back over here and we'll get this phone ready. So I have my smartphone here, my good old Pixel 4 XL, that is. And let's see, I'll fire it up and I'll go ahead and get the camera app ready. And while I'm doing that, I'll actually go ahead and show you what I'm working with. So right now, you're looking at my living room and looking at the setup here, right? Cool. See, there's a camera. But what I'm thinking, we can take this and make sure that we have the timer set for our camera. And for this instance, I want to go with, a 10-second timer. So I just want to go ahead and click on timer, set it to 10 seconds. That's going to allow me to go ahead and set the camera where I need to set it, and then hit the shutter button, walk over to the frame in the scene, and just sort of wait on it to do its thing. That way I'm not rushing, and that way I don't have to worry about trying to reach and push the camera or anything like that. I just set it on the tripod, hit the shutter. I got 10 seconds to get into the frame. Boom, it's done. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and line up our first shot. So let me turn this camera around. All right, so I'm going to put this right over here and frame up my shot. We'll just sit that there like that. Now, we already have our trusty shutter set to 10 seconds. So this should be pretty easy to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself square to hold up the light, if you will. So I'm going to hit shutter, and I got 10 seconds to get in the frame. Go. There's the camera. Okay, so that part's done. All right, so now the next part is to put in the extra shot and put in, me standing here looking angry, frustrated, or what have you. But there's something else that we can do. We can even do a costume change, if you will. That's just something that's just going to give it a little bit more character and a little bit more energy and a bit more of a story. So with the magical editing powers of Mr. Victor, we're going to do a costume change here at the clap of my hands. All right, through the magic of editing, we now have our costume change. So next, I'll go ahead and stand over here in another spot and just act as if I'm looking over here at the person holding up this light, struggling with it, trying to get everything squared away for me. So we'll go ahead and hit the shutter. Boom, we got 10 seconds. So I'll say, let's get right here. All right, so now if you want, you can always go back and double check your images. And looking back at this one, that looks okay. I'll put this one over here, see how this looks. And it looks okay too. I think I can work with those. All right, so we'll close out of that, back out. All right, so now we got everything set up. We got the 2 images in. We got the thought process and squared away. So now all we have to do is just get that mobile app, put it on our phones for free, and just blend these images together. But you're going to have to wait to see how we do that until next week. All right, folks, that's going to do it. We appreciate you all joining us each and every Thursday here at TWiT TV. I love showing these videos and showing you these little tutorials and tips to help make you a better photographer and help you to have some fun with your photography on top of that. Thank you all for the continued support. Again, if you have any questions or comments or just some images you'd like to share that you've been out there doing and creating and maybe want some critiques, shoot an email to hop@twit.tv. I try to answer all of them as best I can and give any feedback and so on and so forth. But every now and then, heck, I'll even feature your images on the show, but I'll only do that if I have your permission. Give me a follow over on Twitter and Instagram. It's ant_Pruitt on those platforms. And follow TWiT too. Follow TWiT TV over on Instagram, and it's just TWiT over on Twitter. So folks, again, share the podcast out with other folks that are interested, and be sure to go back and look at all of our previous episodes here on the network, because I like to build upon them each and every week. That's going to help you learn the process and the background and the fundamentals of photography each and every week. So each episode is pretty much just something that's layering up to get you to the next level. All right. Okay, folks, be safe out there. And here's all the best for all of you folks out there that's just trying to stay safe and following the shelter-in-place orders, just as we are here at TWiT. Thank you again for the tremendous support. And Mr. Victor, thank you for doing your thing and making me look good each and every week, my man. I appreciate you. All right, you all take care. Safely create and dominate. Catch you later.
Hey, I'm Jason Howell, host of Hands on Android, a techie look at how to customize your Android device, as well as take a look underneath the hood and see what's really going on down there. You can subscribe by going to twit.tv/HOA, or you can find Hands on Android in your podcatcher of choice.